The show.
The show.
Show business.
Show business. It's that show business. Show business. It's that show business.
Man, you too. How funny to meet you this way. Like real legit in the middle of a pick one.
Man,
In the middle of a pick one. Man, what's up, y'all?
how
are you?
Happening? I'm good. Let me fix this a little bit so we can get a little bit more. Boom. Always switch when it comes in. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, first off, as people are coming in, because you know we all taking it a day at a time. I mean, it switched to like a moment at a time now. Now we all like take a breath and then shit's just changing second by second. So we having to keep up, you know. So as people are coming in, I just want to first off welcome you guys to Show Business Live. We got the infamous Josh Smith and the beautiful, talented Lindsay J. Ducos.
Thank you for having me.
I've been a fan of you guys for a minute, and we maybe have crossed like this.
Yes.
Like this.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I've been somehow, some way, the universe then brought us together in the middle of a revolution and a pandemic, and
I have a fun story about that too. I was telling Lindsay, I don't think you remember because I was super young. That was like technically my first job, but ABDC.
I was ABDC. I was about to say, what crew were you on, Josh? When I saw that you did ABDC, I was like, okay, am I tripping? Were you on the season that I was on?
Yeah, you went the Collizion crew.
Which crew was you on?
The best pep talk
The
ever.
best advice. I remember who was like in the back, me, Jeremy, Byron, Kenny, and we was in the back having a hard time with the routine, and they walked. The supervisor clerk at that time, and then you came in. You was like, "Look, if it ain't close, if it ain't hard, if it ain't dangerous, it ain't shit." That's true.
Wow. If it ain't dangerous.
He lives by that to this day, still. So, like, you know.
That's what's up. Bruh. Oh my God. So I didn't even realize, Josh, that you were in Jeremy's crew. Why am I not connecting this? Because I guess you took a sharp right. So I forgot you took a sharp right. Oh, that's what's up. ABDC, man, that was the most memorable time and the most worst time of my entire life. Am I lying, Josh?
You ain't lying, bro.
Okay, so let's get into this. First off, welcome again for those of you guys that are just joining. This is Show Business Live. I started with a podcast the end of last year, Show Business Podcast. And then I was moving into another situation to do a radio situation. And then boom, the pandemic. And then boom, the revolution. And then boom, I was like, okay, we're going live. We're going to keep this going and we're going to keep it moving. And then I took a break this last few weeks because we all just needed a breath, like a serious breath. And then somewhere in the middle of it, you guys are now the first introduction back into this new world because we're in a new normal and we ain't going back.
Ain't going back.
Happy to have you guys here, and I would love for you guys to tell us a little bit more about you guys. So I want to start off with first off with Josh, and then Lindsay, if you guys can tell me like your full names or nicknames that we don't know, and then both of your hometowns.
Okay, bet. I'll start off. Full name Joshua Smith.
That's not your full name.
Frank Smith. I go by Dancer Boy Smith, and I'm originally from Durham, North Carolina.
That's what's up. And everybody mentioned you from Atlanta because I thought you was from Atlanta.
Yeah, man. I just
think that.
But I just adopted the culture. I moved there when I was 18, right after high school, and just pursued dance because North Carolina, you don't really get too much dancing out there. Not too many opportunities, no jobs, no big choreographers. So I moved to the A, and like the A, I always secretly wanted to be from the A. I was a kid, like, oh, Atlanta's so cool because the whole crunk and snap and roll movement. So I moved to the A. I just adapted it so much, like literally embodied myself in the culture of Atlanta that now, like, that's like my second home. So, you know.
So what were which Atlanta boys did you come up with, or that you would say, you know, kind of got you together?
For sure, Collizion, but I always got to shout out Jungle Boogie. Jungle Boogie.
Okay.
So when I was in North Carolina, Cody's from North Carolina, and the twins on Jungle Boogie, which is Antoine and Anthony, they're from North Carolina. They're the ones who kind of persuaded me to get to Atlanta. They was like, yo, you'll do good in Atlanta, like, you talented. I'm telling you, they'll like receive you well. So shout out to them. So I was around Jungle Boogie for a long time, like under their wing, showing me a lot of like around. Then I met Jeremy Strong.
Yep.
Legend, that's my boy, that's my brother. And he took me under his wing pretty much and was like, yo, come hang with us. So I met Collizion, and then I started hanging with them, and they adopted me to the crew. And then we got on ABDC, and then like just a lot of brotherhood, big homies, big brothers. And I had a lot of like, I had to digest a lot in the crew. But I was the youngest one, and I was so eager because I just moved to Atlanta. So I was like, book, you know what I mean?
That particular thing, you got training because ABDC gave everybody choreographers, and we all had to like pull our lives together. I never had that much stress over me in one situation. Me and Lisette still talk about that. We'd be like, "Ooh, we was in deep prayer and meditation, and the bars mixed to get through it." So, man, that's what's up. So, for you to be thrown into that training,
off the rail, you had to go places. That's what's up. Okay, Lindsay, what about you? Where are you from, love? What's your full name, nickname?
My name is Lindsay Jane Ducos, but everybody calls me Ducos. I'm French, because I'm born in France, but I grew up in Cali, and I grew up between LA and the Bay. So I'm
oh my God,
native that went to high school in Oakland. So
I love you already.
Yeah. Even though I am French, my mom is from View Park, Ladera Heights, so she grew up off Vista Dior, so she's laid down, went to high school at Crenshaw and Palisades, so you know that's
Yes.
Shout
out, moms.
I know. She lives in the Bay now still. Okay. She's sad, but yeah, I just consider myself, I guess, like a French Black girl living in LA.
That's what's up. I love it. So when did you move to the States? How old?
6. So,
okay.
Yeah, and my parents came here. My dad's white, my mom's Black. They split up, and then, which was not a bad thing, or you know, it's not like a sad detail.
Right.
And we lived my dad was in Inglewood, off La Tierra and Centinela. My mom was in Silver Lake for a little while. Then we lived all over. We lived off Serrano. We lived a couple places. So I feel like I covered a lot of LA ground. And then when she met my stepdad, that's when we moved to the Bay. And I was about 10 when I was.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it was cool. It was a change, but it was a good change. And it gave me a lot of balance, I think. I appreciate what the Bay gave me culture-wise in contrast to LA. I feel like everybody always tries to pin the two against each other, but I'm like, they both need a little bit of what the other one doesn't have. So
totally agree.
I'm
from here. But yeah, I'm from here, but same thing. Like I need that Northern Bay, so conscious, so, you know, environmental and intelligent and raw, not about the bullshit. We're a little bit more, you know, showy out here, but I still think that we're down. I feel like LA gets a bad rap thinking that we're like bougie and we're fake, and not the ones who are from here. You know, like the ones actually from LA. We're just earth, very much like the Bay. We have a different sauce, but we're all around it. I think it's it gets different because people get out here and they get really excited. But we're from LA, so I ain't really excited. You know what I mean? So we don't really tripping like that. Get the bad rap. They're like, you're so fake, and I'm like, no, we're not actually.
Oh, that's the industry. I think the industry does some really damage, I think, to LA in general. And what's unfortunate about that is that the industry is such a small geographic kind of centralized place in LA that if you go literally anywhere, it's not even like I'm advocating for like you got to be south of Slauson or you got to be
right, exactly.
outside of that bubble. There's so much of Los Angeles to explore. There's so much culture. I feel yeah, there's I mean, there are mean people everywhere. I could tell you Bay too, but there are also a lot of nice people and a lot of smart people everywhere. So yeah, Cali is like he calls it an island. He says I live on an island,
man.
I'll take that.
I'm not saying I'm mad at the island. I'm just saying I'm not mad at the island.
But we're separate because when we do go and travel, then we get to see, damn, we are kind of lucky there. You know what I mean? We have a different mentality of how we grew up, but we also are able to stay really grounded. So I feel like that's our superpower. You know what I mean?
It should be wild.
It is wild. No, yes, Luther. No, it is wild. And you know what's crazy? I only because Luther said this, but it just popped into my mind. When we talk about LA and we get super hypercritical about it, I'm always cracking up because I'm like, the craziest ones are the people who this is their first time. They're not from here.
Right.
And I'm like, and everybody's, oh, LA's so crazy, it's so crazy. And I'm like, that's so funny because a lot of times they're from other places and sometimes where you're from. I'm like, oh.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it is what it is. And like me and Lisette always say, wherever you go, there you are. So, I mean, you go be an asshole in Florida, in Texas, and in Cali. You know what I mean? You just go be whoever you are, wherever you are. I mean, of course, people try to switch it up while they're here because they're also trying to find themselves. So I will give them that too. You know what I mean? And as being a mentor, I meet a lot of people that are going through those changes. So they don't quite know who they are as of this point to that point. Well, I think we got a little frozen. Hopefully it comes back. We back? Okay, good. We back. We good. No Teddy up in here. We good. Okay, so let's get into hometown songs because I feel like a person's hometown song or a song that makes them feel like home tells a lot about the person. So, boom. Who's first? Either one of you guys.
I so I'm gonna ask that question. I was like, what song I'm gonna pick? And I think I picked Swag Surfing.
I don't even remember the melody of that.
I don't want it to kick us off. Well, here, okay.
No, yeah, try to play it. Hey, Josh, hopefully you got a little bit more clout with IG because they be trying my ass. They be throwing me, blocking me, clipping me. So hopefully we on your live. Hopefully they have a little bit more patience for you. Where at? Okay, backstory.
Not even my hometown.
That's my ish right there. So I think, and the reason why I think I love that song, it reminds me of my hometown. It was the good moment for me. I was in like middle school, high school for me. And I would just get crunk every time I heard that song. Anytime my homies heard pep rallies, parties, it doesn't matter, clubs. And I wasn't even old enough to go in the clubs. And I was still just going around. I was a lot of people don't know, but like if I didn't dance, I'm very fraternity based. Mm-hmm. So like I love HBCUs. When I go to that was my thing. I was in a fraternity in high school. I was master in high school. I was a drum major. So like that was like HBCU thing. That's like my thing. So like I wanted to be, and they always to play Swag Surfing. I used to see probates and like then when they used to do like lines and everything. So and they were strolls. So I'm like, damn man, that thing is fire. Like I want to do that. So I think that's a era for me to say that's a song that I love my home.
Okay, toast to that because we're gonna be toasting all night. So I heard you got margaritas on deck, man.
So myself like one day a week these days because in the beginning of quarantine it was happy hour every hour for like, and then I looked up and I looked like a happy hour. So
yes sir.
Sparkling water,
balance.
Yes.
That's what's up. Okay, so what about you, Linz?
Okay, I guess I'll just play.
What do you like, Linz? What do people call you? People just still call you Ducos?
Lindsay. You call me Ducos. Everybody calls me Ducos. Yeah, but you can call me. You can call me. Just a little.
Oh my God, yo.
Okay.
Hey. Okay. That's all you really got to say. Interview's done. Love you guys. Good night.
Doesn't need much. I got less hearts than Swag Surf. That's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna tell you why you guys should heart this song. Okay, don't hate.
Tell me. Them hearts. That's what's up.
Still DRE by Dr. Dre. So this song came out around the time that I moved to the Bay from LA, and no weird feelings, but it was a quick transition, and I didn't really have a lot of time to digest. And at that time in LA, when I moved, West Coast music was like, that was when we were thriving, like mid 90s to late 90s, we were thriving. So moved to the Bay, it wasn't a huge departure. Like, they still listened obviously to a lot of stuff that was in LA, but I think I was homesick. And I remember this album, The Chronic, came out, and I remember I don't know if you remember The Box. I don't know how this age.
Yes. No, I got
so okay, so for the people who don't know what The Box is, you used to be able to request music videos for no other reason than just to request them. They had a number at the bottom, and you would call and type in your number, and then you would wait, and you would wait for the video to come on. And so I remember requesting this song. Woo! I was not watch music videos because my mom was like, "You don't need to be watching that."
Right.
So I would sneak in my room, and I remember when this song came on, it would just make me feel a sense of home. And like the low riders in the video and everything, it's just very like fire. West Coast culture. And I was like, when I get my license, I'm gonna get
absolutely.
With the top, like, training day, I swore I was gonna be that girl. And so yeah, that's my, whenever I hear it, it just makes me think of LA and the Bay. Like it's like the perfect Cali song to just homage to like hip hop in California. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's
man, you said it, man. Just like put all that on a t-shirt and put the W on the back, and I bought it. Everything. That's what's up.
Like, still not fucking with police. Like, I'm like, we've been
here, right? Exactly. Who was I just telling? I was like, y'all, this is my third revolution. Y'all go do it. Tell me where to show up. The fuck. You guys are doing great out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just let me know what I should do, because I'm on revolution number 3, and damn, you know what I mean? So I'm loving what you guys are doing, but we're gonna get to that once we get to this. So now, first gigs. Was ABDC your first gig?
First gig, that was my first big gig, yes. It was that and Let It Shine. Let It Shine.
That was the Disney movie. Yeah, that's what's up.
First, I got like an agency to rep me, and I got like my first like couple of $1,000. I remember I didn't know how to act. I was like, how much my time right now? It was crazy. So
who choreographed?
And like it was Tegan, Mike Tegan or something. But he was super cool, super nice. The cast was amazing. So it was fun, man. It was a real fun first experience. You know, it was Disney, so they paid good. It was great. They had everything laid out. You know what I mean? Very professional. So that was cool. Then ABDC, I think literally right after that. Like right after ABDC was it for me. Yep, and then there you go. And I then woke up with life with the industry.
Absolutely. That was a wake-up call. Yeah. Linz, what about you? What was your first gig? But yeah, tell me the first gig, and then we're going to go back to your life prior to these gigs. What was your first dance industry?
My first, it's a tie, because I can't tell if it happened like at the same time or my memory is wrong, but it's Nelly Furtado, Man Eater.
Oh, yes.
Or Tyra B, Giving Me a Rush.
Wait, how does that?
Oh God.
Give me a rush.
Every time that you run around and when we touch.
Was that Kento in there?
Quita?
Quita?
It was me, Kento, Quita, and Jafar.
Oh shit! Oh my God, Jafar! I miss Jafar. Jaquel said, "Cut the check." Exactly, cut the check, Jaquel. Shit, where the coin at?
Both stories were funny. Both of them were funny. The Nelly Furtado one was funny because I got a phone call in the middle of the night. This is at my ex. Oh yeah, this is at my ex's house. Sorry, man. I was in college. And I was asleep. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. I got this phone call. I'm like, hello. He's like, hi, is this Lindsay? I'm like, yeah, this is she. He's like, I'm checking to see if you're available in a couple hours for a music video. And I was like, what? And I hung up. And my mom, I'm like, yeah, right. Okay, yeah. So it's 3 in the morning. Like, what music video at 6 in the morning? Calls back. He's like, hello? I'm like, hello? And he's like, do you know who this is? And I'm like, mm-mm. He said, this is Frank Gatson.
Oh, Frank.
I'm okay to admit it. At the time, I didn't know who Frank was. I think I was like 16. I just hadn't done any homework. And I was like, okay. So when he said that, all I knew was I should know this is a big deal.
Right.
Like, it's at a warehouse in El Segundo. Can you be there at this time? Which meant I needed to like go back to my dorm room, get my clothes and go. And he said, you'll be paid right after the gig. Let me know. And I said, okay, I'll be there. So I went, but I just remember when I pulled up, I was like, this guy's really a big deal. Like, he's a really big deal. And then I looked around and I was like, mind you, I'm sure he was probably cussing me out on the side, like, who is this girl? She doing? But I came and I just remember thinking, just be very grateful to whoever this is. I just walked up to this man and I was like, thank you so much. Mind you, I looked like a little Bambi. My outfit was terrible. I had like a bad red box dye job done. I looked
finding it. You're finding it.
Put it out in probably like 30 minutes. So it was like half curly, half straight. It was rough. And Aisha Francis and who else was there? It was like a bunch of heavy hitters. Oh my gosh. I'm blanking on her name. And this is my friend who assists Fatima all the time, curly hair, and used to dance for Britney. Starts with the letter T. Oh my God, what is her name? I'll think of it. But a lot of heavy hits, and it was humble.
Now I'm trying to think. And used to dance for Britney, and big curly hair.
And it's gray now.
Tiana?
Yes, Tiana.
Okay.
Tiana, thank you. Why can I not think of this woman's name? Yes. So, humbling moments.
Yes, I love T. Mwah. Man, this is great. Okay, so let's get up into like your first big thing where you felt like, okay, I'm doing some shit right now. Was that Sierra? Was that Usher? What was the one where you were like, where you became that person where you were like, okay, this is for real?
Okay, I think that moment for me was Usher. So I got the job to do Usher. I was on tour with Austin Mahone, and then Jamaica. That's when I started kind of like getting
Jamaica. Shout out Jamaica. Luther's telling me to cut the check. You tell me, Luther, the coin's at.
So like I got introduced to Jamaica, and like it's crazy because she asked me a couple of times to do some things with Usher, and like, you know, I was doing some stuff with Austin, and you know, I'm a loyal person. You know, I'm just not just because this dance. A lot of people, I try to preach to people like you your own human being.
Absolutely.
So just know, whatever you do, nothing should compromise like your integrity. You know what I mean? Who you are as a person. So
stop right there. Let's cheers to that.
Hey,
integrity, because we don't get that. We don't see that. That's a rare. Thank you for that, Josh.
So no matter how big the influencer or whatever, you know, just be you. So that was all my thing. You know what I mean? I kind of live out like a street code. So that's what. So I was like, I couldn't do it, but not saying I didn't want to, because mind you, just throwing this out there, Usher was like my dream job. So that was, I was a kid. I was like, I want to dance for Usher. I want to whatever. So all that to say is I missed like 2 or 3 music videos that she was trying to be a part of. And by the third one time she asked me, you know, I'm thinking like it's over. Like she's never gonna
Exactly.
laugh. Like I just said no 3 times, but luckily Jamaica was a real one, and she understood that it wasn't out of spite, it was out of just respect out of who I was with before at that time. But then she asked me one more time, and I said I'm with it. And I did like a show, and then after the show, I started doing Usher. So that's my name started getting a little different. More, so that was cool. And people didn't really understand unless you was like affiliated with Atlanta or a little bit there, you didn't really know who I was. And I kind of like that advantage because I'm more so like I like to be in the background and just learning. Like I was an open book. I was a sponge. I'm like, just teach me everything. I said, because I'm going to get there, but I just want to get there when I get there. So I've been working. It's been moving. But I would never like trying to be in the limelight. So eventually I got Usher. I started doing the tour. It
Now,
was
dancing and choreographing or what?
the only dance. I danced for Usher on a tour, URX tour, for a year and a half with amazing dancers. That's honestly, just so you know, I tell people this story all the time. That's when I leveled up as a dancer, and like that moment when dancers kind of click. And you found it, and you just know it's like something different about how you walk.
Yes.
That was my moment for me, and like I was with Kento, Antonio Hanel, Marv, Yusuke, and then Ashley Everett.
That's a crew.
Like Quita, Naima, just heavy hitters. You know what I mean?
Who was choreographing this? Well, Jamaica was over it, but who was all?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Of course.
So like in the
All day. Of course, Rio.
All just gonna come full circle when we talk about my whatever I do now and stuff. But like Rio was like my big homie, still is. You know what I mean? He pushed me. Mind you, me and Rio didn't like each other, so it's crazy that we still. And this is true. This is fact. I didn't like Rio. Rio was like whatever, but and I had to prove myself. And he continuously like I don't know, Jay. Like he ain't. I don't know. He was going like I don't know. We gonna see he a new fish. You feel me? So, but I was that like. Kind of pre-hate in the sense of like what you got. If you're gonna be here, we ain't gonna just let you just be here. So I respect that, and I just kind of overcame that. And so when I came outside of that, I knew for a fact as a dancer that I wasn't gonna get that experience no more time in my lifetime. In my field life. So I knew I was gonna what I got over that tour, and I wasn't even an album tour, but I learned much. So we used to meditate. We used to do so much on that tour. That when I left that, I knew it was going to be hard to find out again. And Antonio taught me so much as a mover. Like, yo, you like one of me. So he kind of just poured everything into me on that tour. And Marv, so when I got out of it, it was it.
Shout out Antonio. That's a rare bone, right?
You feel me? And then shout out to Marv and them. So, like,
yes, Marv.
After that, boom, Jamaica was like, yo, you fly. And I kind of told Jamaica, like in private, like, I want to be a choreographer. And that was the thing I always wanted to be. It's not like I just randomly thought about it and I danced. Then when I always had a vision to be a choreographer in the background. God willing and blessed that I did it this young. So that's that. But like, that's what I want to do. So Jamaica said, you don't want to do this. And eventually kind of put me on smaller jobs. And after the tour was happening, put me on smaller jobs. And eventually I was Usher's assistant choreographer. And that's when Marv was ahead of it on that new season with the No Limit and the party with Chris and Usher. And so that was when I started assisting. And then my mind just to continue to elevate. I continued to build a bigger relationship with Jamaica and Marv and Usher. And helped me out a lot. And after that, it catapulted for like where I am now with Chris and just everything shifted.
That is what's up. That's a hell of a story. And you just said it, the morals, the work, and integrity is about what you're doing when people aren't looking. And that's what I'm trying to show people. And people always want to, and especially now it gets more confusing because everyone wants to show their processes, which is amazing, but your process is still an edit. And so getting the thing thinking, okay, your edit is what you put in, so I can do it. And unfortunately, in our world, it can work for them.
And work.
That's the difference. So now it's like I had a conversation, I think, with Lou about it too. In Rhapsody, I was talking about like relevance versus respect. And so it used to be respect that's how you were relevant. And now it's, you got to be relevant, and then that give you respect. And it's an odd situation. Relevant, you don't necessarily have to have anything sustainable underneath it. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna have to have you guys back for that one.
Hey, come on.
Integrity. So Lindsay, first off, tell us about your first life that I'm sure a lot of people don't know, and then give us into the job that made you say, okay, I'm doing the damn thing now.
Well, my career was a little different. I had ebbs and flows. It looked like a pulse and then this. So, you know, the beginning, you like have a couple false starts. Like, you're like, I made it. And then you're like, no, I didn't.
Gotcha.
The one that, before I got to the real one that kind of like threw me into the water was Black Eyed Peas. And this was what, like 2012 era, but right before I got that power. So I'm a Bee and all that. And this was like when Brandy Harris and Nicki and Jessica Castro, everybody was on there, and I came in like real wet behind the ears. I didn't say, I think similar to what Josh said, I just wanted to learn. I was just happy to be there. I remember just being like, I hate to say it like this, but I was like, don't fuck up. Just don't fuck up. And don't say too much. Don't say too little. Don't stand too far behind, too close. You know, you're like, that's that thing where in the beginning, you're just calculating like Tetris. You're in the room and you look like this, but on the inside, you're like this.
Yep.
Oh, like, it was like, they'd be like, you don't have to go full out. I was always full out. I just felt like I don't have anything to lose. I literally had worked so hard to be in that room.
Yeah.
I think just being around older women, and I had this conversation recently with Josh, how at least, I don't know, maybe my memory is weird and I'm remembering it better because we tend to over fantasize the past sometimes.
Yeah.
But at that time, it took for me to catch up to them. It felt like the older women weren't necessarily old. It wasn't like, oh, they're old. No, they were women, and they like were working, and it wasn't about needing to be 17 and now you're the oldest person in the room looking at a bunch of like really young people. It was kind of the reverse. Like if you were younger, you barely got in there because they had a well-oiled system.
Got it.
Communicate and help each other, and the relationships that they had just made it feel like I just knew it was a big deal to be in that room. And of course, that if they enjoy you, that you get invited into other rooms, and if you work hard, you know, you can grow. So yeah, I just felt like I learned a lot being on that job. And it didn't necessarily catapult me. Like I did spot dates with them, and that was my first time doing the Grammys. I remember I had to wear this big speaker box. This is when faces were covered during Black.
Yeah.
Lots of shuffling and lots of face coverings. And I remember having to like navigate that, like how to dance when you can't see. And to wear these we had these speaker fists that we had to wear, and they were on our legs. And it was a lot of juggling. You think
That's
like,
that real gigging. You was gigging, Linz. That was that gigging.
shuffling my way to the top, that's for sure. I was like, I don't know how many hit there. And then, you know, after that, I had like kind of started experimenting with like my hair and different things. And, you know, you go through a lot of phases of looks, at least as for women. And those are a go and some of those are not. And I found out fast when I stopped working what was a go and what was not. So I had some ebbs and flows. And then I think right when I got to, I think booking Chris, that was my first like big Chris job. Was Loyal and the video. That like video had everybody and their mom in it in terms of talent. And we had Othan and Fly, and we had Eden, and we had a lot of people working on it. I mean, it was just kind of like a moment where another one where I was like in the room. I was happy to be standing next to Jana, who's like my A-spoon coon now, you know. But just certain people where some people were like, we're here, and some people I was still kind of like this. And then, yeah, and then from there, it just everything just kept going. That's how I met Luther, not that far after. We did Bad Boy Reunion Tour, kept doing Chris, and then the cool thing, you know, it was a weird thing because it was Chris camp was going through a lot of transitioning at that time. Yeah. And in a non-politically way to answer. I was just there observing all the changes and wanting to stick with it, because at the time that was a job that I had wanted to do forever. And then when I finally got the chance to dance,
I'm sorry, Fly on that one? I'm trying to just figure out who at this point, because I know they had went through so many changes. Was this Fly? Was this Fifi? Was this okay?
Fly and Eden.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I remember we did the BET Awards, and the cool thing about BET Awards was then at the time I had been taking Devin Perry's class like all the time, because I was a huge Devin Perry fan. Shout out to Devin Perry. And I remember I got to do, he was doing BET because he was dancing for Chris at the time. And then in walks Randy and Hef, and then Mona. And obviously Mona and I were really cool. But all these people who, you know, now we look at each other and we sort of probably look at each other as, you know, on the same level. But at that time, even though they probably don't know that, I was bugging. I was sweating just standing still, you know, like ready for the smoke, in a sense that I wanted to dance next to these people so I could grow. But like positive smoke, like you just want to learn and soak up everything, you know? And then once that kind of sort of transitioned, I remember that it was Randy and then All Boys and Rich and Tone came back. They left and I booked Bad Boy Reunion Tour. And that's how I met Luther. And that was my first time working with Lorianne outside of when I booked Making the Band, like way back.
Wow. Okay. Oh, Making the Band. Okay. ABDC, Making the Band, meant to be. And we're going to get into how you guys met too. One thing I want to say about the Loyal video, that was a big tune too to be thrown into. That was a huge tune. You know what I'm saying? And then I loved it because it was like reminding me of home. City Walk was my place. So high school, we go to City Walk every weekend. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, gotcha. You know, oh, how many people did I give my number out? You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, City Walk for me. So I'm saying Chris is dancing in where I would go every weekend and give my number out and be cute. And we went every weekend. So it was just like, it felt like home. I was like, Chris, you did that shit. Well, I know the production company did it, but I'm going to give it to Chris. You did that damn thing. I loved it.
Fun. Everything. So we had all to ourselves, and then we had a whole party in the garage. I mean, we were in there. We were having
I love it. Enrique said City Walk was the club. It sure was. City Walk was the mother club. Saba, my cousin's in here too, because me and Saba would go to City Walk every weekend. Damn. But anyway, sorry, that just really got me hyped. Like City Walk really is a big, you know, it's right here. I don't go anymore, but you know what I mean. It was somebody saying, right? Yep, everybody knows City Walk was the club. Okay, so back us up, Lindsay. Before you got into this particular mode, you went to school, and then you also did what? So we can get into that little mode.
Well, I wound up moving back to LA from Oakland to go to UCLA. And at that time, I just had auditioned for the arts program there, and it was called World Arts and Cultures. So it was kind of like getting an anthropology degree with writing and then choreography and dance for the camera. Like if all of those, yeah. So you learned how to edit and film and shoot dance. They all on campus, so we were like kind of forced to basically see as much performance as possible. So we got to see like Bill T. Jones, we got to see Pina Bausch, we got to see a lot of foreign companies that honestly I wouldn't know anything about if I hadn't really gone through that program. And then, you know, on top of that, you talk a lot, which is probably how I got this brain even like revved up even more. Everything based off of cultural appropriation. So understanding who took what from whom and where things were sourced from and why, like, why dance with their feet in the ground because of, you know, agriculture, like dances of how they, like, you know, help them plant seeds in the ground and things like that. So it kind of expanded my mind into a whole nother place. And I remember auditioning for Trio Talent. And that's
Rodney.
Yeah. I didn't understand anything about agencies. I was literally like opening a phone book and being like, boom, okay, Trio. So I just showed up. I remember I went to the audition. It was at Alley Cat at the time. And I got an agent. And then from there, I was kind of like, I think I should try this. Like, I think I should try this. And that's when slowly but surely I started booking like random things. And then it kind of came down to, do I finish school or do I drop and keep dancing? And I wound up finishing school and coming back after, and now I'm okay with that, but I had so many times where I regretted it, because I remember Laura Edwards and Nick Demora and Quita and certain people, we were like, I feel like dance has graduating classes. That was like my entry class. We all kind of came in together. And then when I came back, I mean, people's careers had just taken off. Hey. So,
I think my boy Kareem just came in here too. He said you kind of remind him. He said you dope, and you kind of remind him of Swoop a little bit.
That's a compliment.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's a compliment right there. I know that. And when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, there is a wavy Swoop. Oh man, shout out Swoop. But anyways, go back. Cut you off, Linz. Go ahead.
That was pretty much it. And then I think when I graduated, I just thought, I don't really want to think anymore. I want to turn my brain off. I got tired of trying to think. It's a lot. That program is amazing. There is such thing as overthinking, and I'm already a thinker, so it just propelled me to a place where I was like really having a lot of trouble about how to operate and navigate the industry, especially as a female that was sort of a tomboy, still trying to find her feminine side and like where to fit in. Right. And this was a heels class, so like for everybody that's out there with like 20 heels programs to take from, this was we hand you a pair and you figure it out on set, or if you have to try them on before, and that's an if. So, just figuring everything out. And then, I decided to sort of like abandon all other plans and just try to go for it. And that's kind of how I sort of got into the next stage and the next stage, and then and the next and the next.
All right.
So,
hey, tell us about ice skating, because that's a plot twist.
Right.
right. Yeah, when I don't remember this story. This is something that my mom told me.
Okay.
Lived in LA. She took me one time to Pickwick Ice Center, which is in Burbank. And we used to go to Griffith Park a lot. She would let me like ride the horses and stuff. So it was like our like mom's taking her daughter out to do something kind of trip. So we went skating one day, and she said that I took a beeline to the center. And anybody that's like I think it's kind of like rollerblading too, or roller skating, where like the center, or maybe it's guys, but the center at the skating rink is like where the fancy people go, and you don't go there. They're like, no. I just went there and I started trying to learn how to turn. And I guess I came back to my mom and I told her that I felt God when I was spinning. Never,
and
I don't.
I can dig it, because I want to know, what are they feeling when they're spinning that many times? They're feeling something. It's crazy.
My mom was like, this is also not a sport that our folks particularly partake in. And it's expensive. So for me to come skating back and say something like that, she felt that she didn't have a choice. So then it was like I started taking, how you ease your way into things, like Saturday morning classes. Then that turned into Saturday and Sunday. Wow. Then that 2 days a week. And then I pretty much had like the whole family, and then eventually my stepdad, when he came into the picture, kind of trying to pitch in to help make it happen for me, because I was skating every day except Sunday from 4:30 in the morning until 7:30 in the morning. Then I would go to school. Then I would get off at, let's say, like, you get out of school around 3:30. I would go straight to the rink and skate from like 4 to 6, and then go home, do homework, and then go to bed and do it all over every day. I was training real talk for the Olympics. I wanted to be Michelle Kwan, Christy Yamaguchi, Sasha Cohen. That in my mind, I was like,
this is true, because she has like.
Let's cheer that. Cheersing to Lindsay's repping for us sisters on the ice skating rink. Like, I'm gonna give you that, girl. We need at that moment.
My mom was for sure the only mom. Like, you look around.
Do you hear this? Discipline. Lisette was like, that's discipline. Okay, what sign are you guys? Both of you, because you guys got some hell of a discipline, both of you.
Hey, I'm an Aries.
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, wow.
We kind of
exactly. Okay, got you. Y'all can boil each other up and put each other out.
Well,
Aries.
So
I love that. So man, okay, so discipline. So now, you said you started to, at this point, you're ice skating every day from 4:30 in the morning, and you're doing this. And how long did this routine go on?
Until literally the summer before high school, and which was a really interesting transitional time. I was getting So the French government pays for you to go to any French school if you are born, if you're a citizen. So I was going to like a $40,000 a year school up until the 8th grade, a French American school for free. So, and that demographic did not reflect my family, if you know what I'm saying. So at that point, I looked at my mom and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't feel comfortable. I want to go, I didn't say normal, but I think I might have said normal. I want to go to a normal school. I want to be around, you know, our folks. I want to see what a big school looks like. Also my classroom size, which now, if I was a parent, is great. They were small, but it was like so small, you felt suffocated, you know? Mm-hmm. So going into high school, I got injured skating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was honestly, I could have sucked it up and kept going. I think the time was terrible because I started going to high school at this not small private French school. It was the opposite, and there were boys everywhere. There were boys everywhere. I couldn't focus, and then, you know, I discovered that if I ran track, they were at track practice too. So to me, I told my mom, like, I just don't think I can really do this anymore because I just think I've lost so much jumps and my turns. I don't know how I'm going to get it back. And my mom is very not pushy. I woke up to practice. So she was like, okay, if you don't want to do it, it's cool. So sure enough, I got to high school and I was like, I'm about to kick it. And so, yeah, and that sounds very terrible. Like, I'm sure people.
Not, you wanted a real life. After that, 4:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. to start. I would have wanted to kick it too. You did the damn thing.
Quite curious, and then I was discovering like other flavor, you know, lots of flavors.
Absolutely.
And then I started running track, and I got really good at track. Actually, I was a mid-distance runner, so I was like, well, I'm cool with this. And track meets were fun. I had a blast running track. And then I had to pick an elective. So I picked dance. And because I was either art or dance, and I wanted to do either one. So I picked dance. And because I knew how to turn and jump, that's how I kind of was able to sort of take like a fake technique and try to learn faster at how to be able to do jazz or ballet or, you know. So that was my transition into dance. It wasn't even like I grew up doing it forever. It was just kind of like, I'm in high school, I got to pick an elective. Okay, I picked dance. Oh, this is fun. Like, we kick it in. Okay, lunchtime. We get to. It was you wanted to be a part of it at my school. It was like a cultural thing more than like I'm going to dance for an artist. Honestly, I just wanted to go I used to choreograph the little halftime dances. We were probably terrible, but I thought we were so fly. Like, it was a vibe. It was cool.
What's up? And you know what? I think when you came into, you know, our industry, you already had the stuff that you can't teach, which is that work ethic, which is that discipline. And you did have a natural flavor, because to be able to go on the skates and do what you needed to do, you know, sometimes people can find that transition and sometimes they can't. But I feel like for you, it was a natural thing, you know. How'd you guys meet? I know I'm skipping around, but I want to get to that, and then we're going to get to some other stuff. Okay, Josh, spill it.
I met her on the job with Chris. Honestly, I seen her, man, and you know, she was cute then, but I was so focused on not
Me too.
fucking up, you know,
Right.
like, because this is my first time. Mind you, for everyone who knows, this is my first time solo dolo choreographing for a tour, let alone a superstar named Chris Brown. So I would put in the lion's den. Mind you, I never worked with Chris before then. I worked with him on Party, the music video, but that was with Usher. So when I got the call for Chris, it wasn't no music video. It wasn't let's meet. It was, I fuck with you. I seen you in that video with Party, and I met you. I want you to be my choreographer and Chris record. That was just what it is.
Ass up.
But that was, I would have just got thrown in the wolves, so I never.
Okay, wait, stop right there. Toast to that. That's what's up. But that's destiny right there, and that's determination. That's where preparation meets opportunity meets God's purpose. You was in alignment. That right there is called alignment. Because when you're in alignment, you don't have to work as hard. The phone rings out the blue. and shit's lit. I'm so happy for this conversation. Continue.
Nah. That was it. So I was working. I was just focus, and then but you know, I was going a lot. I was like going through a lot in my life too. In the midst of the greatness, it was a lot going on for me. So you know, I would just say I went through a lot in my life, so it prepared me to be a little bit more mature in my lifetime too. And I was kind of prepared because a lot of people, when they meet me, they say, "Oh man, you like." You know, beyond your years and stuff. But it's because I just went through a lot of like real life shit. And I had a kid, I had a son, I was balancing things. I had a lot of stuff to do. So
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. So all that to say, so I was going, and then pretty much I seen Lindsay and I was like, man, she cute. And then Rio was like, yo, you should talk to her. So it was like, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I got you. I'm going to do it when my time. He's always pressed me to go talk to her.
Oh
and
God,
pretty much we got on tour. And I wasn't even going to talk to her yet. Because I was just chilling. I'm not trying to be a creep. You feel me? I'm new to this.
Absolutely.
So you got to come correct. Because Lindsay is older than me. And I am younger. So I didn't want to just come on some younger people. So, pretty much, he was like, I'm going to go. So he was like, I'm about to go talk to her. And he was about to walk over there. So I was like, yo, chill out. This ain't high school, bro. Like, yo, I can speak for myself. She gonna think I'm like a little dude if you go over there and talk for me.
Right.
So,
Yeah, want that.
Kind of forced me. This was in Boston. You know what I'm saying? So this is the first time I actually went up to her. I said, hey, let me talk to you fast. So it I had the upper hand a little bit because I was still the boss of, you know, the thing. So I had the upper hand. So I still like, never talk to her. Okay, cool. And I pulled to the corner. And if you've been on tour, you know the little boxes that be outside that you can just sit on. They be out for the crew. I sat there, and I guess, and whatever you can call it, spit my game or however you want to say that. I talked to her. You know, I guess my talk's a little saucy, and then we kept going.
No, I guess my talk's a little soft.
Okay, so Lindsay, chime in because that was an amazing story. I'm all in. I'm all ears. So you take it from there.
Okay, well, just a quick small backpedal. It's funny hearing him talk about how he was so nervous because he didn't hire me. Fifi hired me. He brought me back.
Oh.
So when I walked in the room, and mind you, hours before we walked in the room, I saw somebody forward me a post, and they said, your new boss. And it was a picture of Josh. And I was like, what? And I was like, who is this? And I was like, I think that's that guy with the beanie. I think that's what I said. I was like, I think that's that guy. And then
what's up? Damn.
Shook because it was Rio and Amy and Josh. And I mean, they were like, stretch. You got about 10 minutes to stretch. And we were like, you know, mind you, we thought it was going to be a whole nother kind of climate temperature in the room. We came in like, yeah, man. So then they sat down there like, you know, sup? Welcome to party tour. We expect 100%, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, you know, I'm 100% kind of girl, but Jesus Christ. Okay. So when I tell you I was not looking at him at all, and not because he wasn't attractive, I was so nervous. I was like, I'm fired yesterday. I'm on a plane. I got to find another job. I got to figure this out. So I just remember thinking, just keep dancing. So I just remember I was like, always, you know, just yes, sir, no, sir, whatever, just trying to keep my job. And then slowly but surely, like, I could kind of tell, okay, I think I'm doing a decent job because I'm not fired yet. And it's been a week. Mm-hmm. And there was one day we did something and I had on I always dress like a little boy, so you can't really see my body, but I guess I did something where he could see my backside. And I remember the first time he lost his cool, because Josh is so perfect. He's not a creep at all. We worked with a lot of creeps. He's not one of them. And I remember he was like, there's a lot back there. And I was,
Josh came through. Oh, okay, that's when you.
And then he kind of cleaned it up, and he was like, well, you know, everybody in here is beautiful. You know, I'm grateful. Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, okay.
Man.
Okay. Basically, I remember we used to stay late to stretch, right?
Okay.
I gotta say, party tour was the best experience of my life. next to Bad Boy, but the two is like very close. But
Justin
Party
Bieber.
Tour, I'm like, ooh. So, stay in stretch, and Rio would pull out a bottle, and we would just be kind of like, you know, just chilling. But I was still like, I'd be professional, whatever. And I remember Josh came over and kind of sat next to me.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? And he was like, what did you say?
I said, I think you like you're a good cuddler.
Yeah, he said I look like I'm a good cuddler.
You know?
And I'm thinking,
it was true though. That was a true statement. You know, like,
like,
passionate.
Like,
very...
wait, now we're taking it to another dimension.
I remember thinking, this boy is really trying to spit some game. But I played. I'm really good at that. I was like, I was just like, yeah, you know, I like to cuddle. And I just picked up my stuff and I was like, time to go.
Right.
Trying to get a job, because fun fact, I had never dated a dancer or choreographer, and to be candid, ever slept with anybody in the industry.
Wow.
Until not one.
Okay.
I just didn't like the idea of, you know, the whole like shit where you eat kind of thing. I was like, you know, I'm just trying to be the girl that just keeps her job. I just in the back, just do my thing and be out, right? So we started traveling, and I think Boston was like maybe the second show or something like that, second or third show.
Early.
Yeah. And I kind of had peeped, but right before we went on tour, we shot Privacy. And, yeah, and he had to be Chris. And so there's this part in Privacy, and mind you, Chris and I are like, don't have, like, I can say that really candidly. Chris and I are really like brother and sister. There's no like weird anything. So Chris doing a dolphin dive on me is like my dolphin dive on me.
Right.
Josh had to be the guinea pig. So he was
like, I'm like, I can't remember how many dolphin dives on me. You know what I mean?
You know, so I remember we were in the studio, and Josh was like giving each girl a little vignette, and he said, Lindsay, come here. I said, okay. He said, can you lay down for a second? I said, okay. So I was laying down. Mind you, I had been single for a little while, and you know, my heart rate was up. I was like, what? I was feeling tingly in places. I was trying to hold it together. I was turning beet red. And I remember he was like, I think it's gonna go something like this. And I'm laying down, he's standing over me. He just does this dolphin dive, and I was like I was in like a Danielle Steele novel. I was literally like, oh yeah, okay, let me just hold it together. And I just got all warm and bubbly, and I remember thinking, okay, I think I like this guy.
Oh my God, you guys, the comments is lit right now. I'm seeing yes. Ducos for the win. Lit. You guys got it, y'all lit right now.
It was his birthday.
Dolphin dive. Lou said, I'm dead. Dolphin dive for the win.
Oh, dolphin dive. I'm not saying that.
Dolphin dive.
It worked out, and he could hold his weight, so it didn't hurt either. It was like a nice roll. I was like, okay, he's got some control. He's strong. So I remember the next day was his birthday, and I brought him a Spider-Man balloon and like some alcohol or something, because he reminded me of Spider-Man. He just moves so fast. He goes every. So I was like, remember, catch the balloon, and he was like, I think that he thought that was a sign, when really I was just trying to be nice. And so fast forward to Boston, I had been known he liked me because Rio was just being such a So he was like, so would you date somebody younger? I'm like, just tell me who you're talking about, Rio. He's like, no. I mean, I just anybody. I mean, I'm like, you're and who are you talking about? He was like, well, I mean, do you like country boys? Like, do you like people from the South? And I was like, why would I have a problem? He's like, we from the West Coast. Like, I don't know. And it was just funny. So that's when Josh came to me, because Rio was pushing it. And I think he was going to ruin it for him, because he was being very high school. Very. So
like, okay, wait a minute. Can this dude like actually talk for himself? Right.
Yeah. And the first time Josh in I think I was like, you don't want this. I was like, trust me. I was like, you're young. You just started your career. I was like, you need to be out there playing the field. I was like, I know exactly what I want. I'm looking for something serious. I know that I want to have kids eventually, and I'm not looking to just play around. So to be honest, I'm going to save you the trouble of trying and let you know it's a solid no. And he was like, well, how you know I don't want those things? And I was like, well, I don't have an answer for that. So from there, we kind of stuck around until we got caught. one day by a good friend, and yeah, that was
it.
it. That's the PG version. So
Awesome. That's like a real. That's what's up. So how long has it been now?
3 years, man.
Yeah, a little over 3 years. Yeah.
Let's go, guys.
Buddy.
Tell me about being on tour, traveling together as a couple, and then you being the boss, and then being, talent, in that way. How is the dynamic with everybody?
Honestly, I think it's cool, man. Like, cause we're so professional, and like, we know that can make people uncomfortable. But like, honestly, we also know the inevitable, like, which is dance was her first love, and dance was my first love. You know what I'm saying? We love dance. So when we work, we don't make it uncomfortable for people. We don't make it uncomfortable for any bosses. Like sometimes we did jobs and I hired Lindsay, and people that have no clue that we're even dating.
Wow.
Like people like really try to hit on me or try to hit on her, and the vice versa. And I don't make it like she's beautiful. So I'm not like a jealous type of guy. So I don't. Oh, what are you doing? I don't try to be I'm the choreographer. I'm like,
yeah, that's true.
It's whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just life. It's a lot of, we're in the industry where it's a lot of beautiful women, a lot of things happening, but, she respects my creative space, and we respect each other creative space, and we, like, work together, and she helps me in other ways. Like, if she knows, like, hey, look, I'm the talent, but I'm going to help the dancers stay positive, stay flowy, you know what I mean? When I get to just do me and kind of just figure out what I got to figure out. So, and then sometimes we'll work hand in hand. I say, can you do this for me? So she's very open with it. And she's very not like weird and like, oh, this is my boyfriend who's the boss. She doesn't, like, if you don't know Lindsay, you wouldn't even know, you know what I'm saying? Unless we want you to know. Unless we're comfortable enough that you're comfortable enough that we'll be around you like that. But yeah.
I love it. But both of you guys seem very solid. And somebody said they got to be super secure. And you two individuals are secure. You know what I mean? People always say it's 50-50, but it's 100-0. Me and Lisette talk about that because we think it's 100-100. They say put 100-100. No, you have to go in expecting 0.
Mm-hmm.
Has to go in 100 and expect 0. And that relationship, then that going in there, you can't really expecting anybody. You're doing it because you want to do it. And they want to do it. And then that's when it comes together. So we say 100-100. I think Lisette might be in here, but we'd be like, damn, this is a 100-0. And that's the industry. We're doing it 100 in and we're guaranteed 0 back.
So true. So true. So true.
Like,
I couldn't agree more. And I think, the most important, this is for any relationship, people are going to do what they're going to do, whether you're looking at them or not. So we're talking about us as a couple. And
100-0, exclamation. Exactly. 100-0.
So true. It's, I think for both of us, we know that we are both going to be, it is a very aesthetically pleasing industry to look at. And you have to just trust that your partner is going to honor you. And you have to also trust that, whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. You can't, holding tight to something isn't going to make. And so I think both of us kind of had the perspective of, well, we're both very career oriented and goal oriented, but we love each other. So how do we find a compromise? And we happen to be on the job. I think my saving grace was that he didn't give me the job. So for my own ego, I always, anytime that tried to like come into play, I'd be like, I had been here before and I have my own, my own thing, and I fight to really be here based off of my talent. And I try my best to not make other people feel uncomfortable, like I have privilege on this job. Because to be honest, that job to me is like a standard for, especially for women, like that come through on that job. Like my teammates, they inspire me so much that it's like, no, pull up at all times. Yeah. The real situation. And, the good thing also is that we still get to work other jobs separately. Like we still work, side things or other things outside of Chris. So it reminds us what to be grateful for. It keeps us in check on how to stay ourselves, like as individuals, and like little things, like we'll see each other at home. Like, the hardest part is really tour, because on tour, you think we would spend the most time together on tour. We actually don't. Wow. Actually don't.
I hardly don't see her or like really spend as much time as I would like to on tour.
Yeah.
Like, so accountable from A to Z, is that why?
Yeah. It's like, it's literally, she has her own process, and like on life because she actually does have to perform at night. So, you know, if you ever been on tour, you know, you got to take your nap in between. You go eat
Your makeup,
and you come back, your makeup and stuff. With me, I have to worry about sound, worry about the artists, worry about backstage, worry about the stage. Like, I'm
You're
like,
still working.
yeah, because I'm very, very, very hands-on, like, with that. So, only time we really see each other when we go eat, maybe in the morning and then after the show. And then it's funny because she has energy after the show and the dancers that they want to chill.
Adrenaline is on 1,000. He's knocked out in the bunk.
I'm like, I want to take a drink.
You were like, Lindsay, where's Josh? I'm like, I don't know.
I'm hiding somewhere in the bunk.
He's knocked out. And then in the morning, and I wake up early compared to a lot of people, but he'll wake me up so that we can have a second. He'll be like, come on, just like come sneak out, you know, especially when the buses are separated. Because at one point we had a co-ed bus, so we saw more obviously because we were literally like sleeping in the same quarters. But the first year and the last year were separate. So our bus routes were different. Like I think towards the end he like hopped on a couple times because everybody was cool. But for the most part, like I'm still aware that he's a man on a girl's bus and that he's people's bosses. Like, yes, we're all friendly and we love each other, but like when you get off work, you don't want to go kick it with your boss. No offense. You know, people want their privacy. And I also want them to know that I'm a safe place. I'm not going to share. If you have like grievances to air, I don't want you to think I'm going to go back and tell Josh. Because I definitely had moments where I've been like, I can't tell you that.
Yeah, like, and I respect that because, you know, I was a dancer and like, it's not like it's far-fetched. I've been doing this for 18 years or something.
Right.
I left it, so I respect the dancer code. Like I can't tell you everything what the dancers say. You know, that's what it is. You know,
Yeah.
So I respect it because I don't want them, like you said, uncomfortable dancers to feel like they can't tell Lindsay things. I gotta like not invite her to do things or whatever because she's dating the boss.
And I'm
like,
a snitch or whatever.
You know, so like, I literally let the dancers sometimes just do their thing and I rock with them. And then if I don't rock with them, it's cool. It's no bad blood. Like, I understand what role I'm playing. So, yeah, you know what I mean? So it always kind of worked out. We always made sure we never lean into the line too much, blur lines. So.
I love that. That's why you guys are such a cool, you know, I see you guys so solid and I like how you move individually and together. Like I said, I see the 100-0 there and that's what's up. Man, this is so cool getting to know you guys. Moment. Let's dive into Bad Boy because I did Bad Boy OG and now you did Bad Boy 2.0. So,
woo, let's go.
I'm extremely excited here, you know what I mean, about your Bad Boy experience in a nutshell, because, you know, we can talk forever. So, you know.
I talk too much. I know.
No, kidding me? We could do this. We could totally do this forever. You know what I mean? But I just know how it goes because I do the same thing, you know. But we're going to have to do a part 2 because the 2 of you guys, can we come back to part 2?
Absolutely.
Where are we going? Where are we?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
good time. And this was cool. Yes, Lou.
She goes. When she was in rehearsals for the first tour, party tour, I asked her. I was like, Lindsay, real quick question: what have you done before this? And because we won't date, none of that. I was respecting her craft. And like, what did you do? She like, I was on Diddy, Bad Boy. And I was like, got it. Okay, cool. Man, that makes sense, right? Because I was like, to Rio, like, yo, everybody be looking tired. We wearing these, like, dudes out. And these like, what's up with this? Am I working it too hard? But then Lindsay always, even if she's hurt or whatever, talking about endurance of a fucking stallion. Like, because I'm like, yo, what? So I had to ask her, like, where did this come from? She said, well, I just came from Diddy. I said, that's right.
Came from Diddy and came from Luther Brown's Do That Boot Camp.
Right. Look, but, you know, I say, like, the biggest blessing that I really got from that job, there were, like I said, we could be here all day. There were a lot of blessings from that job, but the biggest one that I can think of is the fact that it was the first time that I was ever given a space to be a star. Mm-hmm. And by that, encouraged to try to show who I was.
That's what's up.
Right. Push to be, to just push. Just push is a great word. Just keep pushing. And I think on a lot of other jobs, you just are told to blend or to tone. I don't want to say up or down, tone according to the room, you know, like you kind of just assess the room, assess the artist, and you adjust, you know. Yep. And in this situation, especially because we were dancing, I mean, we were doing at one point like something between 30 and 35 numbers for a show. So we were dancing for all, I would say 90%, because there were some artists we didn't dance for, or we would trade, like some people would do the locks and then some people would do Carl Thomas, or some, you know, we would trade for stamina reasons. And the show was like almost 3 hours long. But it was one of those things where you had to pull up. I was dancing next to Shauna Mitchell.
Oh, yep. Shauna, yes.
Anna, everybody, Telly, everybody. Like that tour had women on there, and I'm like Jade, KO, like whether they were starting out or they were in the middle or towards the end, it was just a sisterhood that we developed together that I'm still really close with a lot of those people to this day. And a tacit understanding, like when Luther and I look at each other, it's like we might not be able to see each other very often, but when I look at him, he's looking into my soul. Luther will tell you stories of times when I was breaking down at 4 a.m. Okay, remember there was one time they were like, let's do it one more time, and I that song, and they meant the whole set, and we had been doing the set for like 8 hours, and I started crying, but I hold it together now. You just cried.
Oh my God.
And I remember clapping all it was, but you know, it's the type of push really made. And then they were like, when you hit that stage, you know, you better be a star, because they were dressing us. Derek Roche was dressing us, and he's like giving us Versace to wear and stuff. I mean, we looked like we were fly. We were treated, so in terms of how we could look and what we were as women, it felt like I just felt fly. So then on top of that, I remember we had one incident where they were like, you can mark it, and we did, and it didn't go so well. So when anyone, this is not, this is anybody, when they tell you that you can mark it, you do not mark it.
No, it means full mark. Full mark. But what does he say? We were on hour 2,000.
We would laugh. Like in corners trying to save time because we were so spread out throughout. This was when we were at Lidditz over in Pennsylvania. So there's only so many rehearsal rooms, and there's so many artists that we would literally have to find a pocket someplace while the artists were rotating using the space. So we'd be on top of wires in the corner. And then let's do this. And we were like, yeah, okay. Like it shaped me into a whole nother kind of thinking dancer.
But here's the thing. You had to do that. You had to do that with the booby traps, but with Luther's choreography. Damn.
Rhapsody, because I know she's in here somewhere. We had Case Hollywood. John Bain was on there too. He did a piece. Like we had, Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood had a people whose choreo is on 1,000. Papa Lorianne, who's inserting even like technical jazz moments. And none of them knew who I was, and we walked away. We're a different kind of family, you know, even if we don't get to talk. Like, I really love those people, like, for real. So
that's great. When you have that moment, there's always that gig or that tour or that thing where you just kind of bonded, and that just is a part of now your legacy. Wait, mine was more like 400, Rhapsody just said. Absolutely. Jesus Louise.
Teach a song during the show. We were learning routines. Shonika.
No.
Nobody's going out. Okay, Lindsay and Luce, I need you. Okay, you're gonna go sca-da-da-da-da. A T-T-T and a B-T-T. You got it. We'd be like, okay, it's and me and Luce would be, okay, you're gonna go to the left, and then I'll go down the leg, and then I'll come up, and then I'm gonna go this way. I mean, it was.
Gosh. And you had 2 songs. You had to go out 2 songs later, Lou was saying. That's crazy. I love
dancing.
Okay, let's move forward to JT, Justin Timberlake. Tell us about that situation. But you did something with Sade, and that's my everything. So I just need to know what that was.
So Fatima, Johnny, Jay Blaze, shout out to Johnny.
have Johnny on. I'm gonna have Johnny on here because he was what 10, 12.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I met Johnny, I think when Johnny was like, so I'm not that far behind you.
Wow.
Yeah, Johnny.
The Sade situation?
So Fatima brought us in to do Baby Father, the music video. And I played Sade, and a pregnant Sade. And my daddy, my baby father, was Johnny. And he was playing Sade's husband as a younger gentleman. And we have a whole scene where I'm walking the dog and pushing a stroller and Johnny's rubbing my belly. I mean, it's the whole thing. And at the time I was probably like, I don't know, 21, maybe 20. Yeah, so that's how we did.
Did you wear your hair like slick in a bun or?
I had a whole wrap. I had like a really big African wrap that was like beautiful. And it was crazy because they wound up not using all the shots that we did. And I look up and I get this email. And I was like, Sade. I was like, this must be her assistant. Sade sent me an email. And she said, I still have it somewhere like in my archive. She sent me an email and she said, I just wanted to say that I apologize that the video went in a different direction, but we were so grateful to have you. And I just wanted to let you know that I thought you did a great job. Love, Sade. When I tell you, I
didn't even know that.
Okay, wait. Let's cheers to that. I have to get more wine because I have to. Okay, so you already got a re-up. See, I'm going to have to drink to this water because Sade sent you an email and we're going to end the interview right there.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That was a moment. So that was my Sade.
That's amazing.
Listening to Sade. My mom, we used to clean the house to Sade. So it was like Maxwell Urban Hang Suite. We would listen to Seal, the first Seal album before Kiss from a Rose, and then Sade and like Coltrane and stuff. So that was like our Saturday and Sunday morning cleaning album. And I was like,
do that. Everything that you just said, since it's all on record, that's going to be my playlist.
Tell you.
My weekend playlist. You just gave it to me. Wow.
So, but for JT, I did the Oscars and the Super Bowl for him, and did Trolls. Did all the Trolls movies. So I had been trying to work with Marty for a long time. I had Justified to Future Sex, Love, Still, like everything. I wanted to be a part of all of that. And so I just was on my little persistent, determined treadmill, showing up to all the classes. And then one day when they were on tour, I think it was the 2020 experience, I finally just sent Marty a note and I was like, look, and I figured he would believe me because clearly there was no job on the table. So obviously I wasn't being fake. I was like, I just want to be in the room. So I was like, anything if you ever just need bodies, just let me know. I just want to be in the room. And he was like, okay. And so he let me start coming in the room. And I told him, I want you to critique me because I know sometimes that's a weird thing for dancers. So I just want you to tell me like whatever you think I need to work on. Mm-hmm. And because his classes were so small, dancers, if there's no job, classes aren't as popping as when, there's a job on the table. So it was kind of my time to like really show that I was dedicated to not only, it wasn't even necessarily about the job. It was like, I wanted to just soak up all his musicality because Marty's musicality is crazy to me. Stupid. So I was like, okay, I just want my brain to just learn. And he let me have that experience, and he kind of let me do things slowly. Like I had done other smaller jobs with him and worked my way, and then Trolls, and then I looked up, and then they had asked me to do the Oscars. And after the Oscars, that's when then we wound up doing Super Bowl. And I had never done Super Bowl before, but I just remember the moment that I looked out into the crowd, I just had that moment of like, if nothing else, I should just really be grateful for the fact that I had a box and I got to check it. And during that process, I got to get to know the people and like genuinely feel a connection and really learn from them, so that it wasn't just about what do I get? Like, how can I take? But I felt like I showed up. If Marty asked me, I remember one time he said, come out to this convention. Like, I just wanted to learn my love. I kept saying, I want to learn my love. I want to learn my love. And he was like, okay. So he said, pull up to the Wildebeest convention in San Bernardino. So I'm thinking I'm going to be on the carpet. Like, mind you, I don't know anything about conventions. I had never been in my life. So dancing on carpet was already really weird to me. I was like, what? Absolutely. So I got there and he's like, I'm in the room with all the people who are teaching, and they're like prepping me like, okay, so you'll go here, you'll go here. So I'll go where? I'm sorry. On stage. They threw me on the stage. I didn't know the dance. and there's no mirror at a convention. I'm looking at shadows. I'm facing the back wall, and it was
my gosh.
I was by myself, so between Marty and Matt, they were alternating to make me feel like I could try with a guy. And I was sweating. I mean, I was nervous. And on top of that, it was like the Build the Beast convention. So there's like, and I just remember, I think Dom from Bad Boy, Dominique, was sitting on the stairs watching, and that made me even nervous because it was just nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I had to pull up, and I pulled up. So
if you're not a convention kid and you don't know that setting, it is intimidating.
What? Dance with microphones. I thought that was so strange. I was like, happening. It's like it reminded me of like those like self-talk centers that you go to where everybody's like, you know, and you can be great and you can be great. But it was dance. It was like, oh, okay. This is lame.
We have a similar story because that's how I started teaching on conventions.
Mm.
And I'm taking it way back. I'm telling my age. He had the first like hip hop convention that had hip hop on it. And it was Wade was on there, and Fee from Jabberwockies. He wasn't on there. He was dancing. And then I got Fee. I had Fee. He was one of the ones I would pick up, put on stage all the time. And then I got him on the convention.
That's crazy. Yes, Rap.
Randy and Hef. I met all of them there. But anyways, how it happened was I did a job with Johnny Smith, a separate job. And then hey, I have a convention this weekend, and could you come because one of my teachers isn't doing it? And I said, what's a convention? And he was like, I'm gonna just send you your flight.
Oh, wow.
So he sent the flight, and then I got there, and I was like, same thing. I walked in, and everybody was in the ballrooms, and I was like, so where do I go? And he just said, you see that stage? Go up there and grab the mic. And that was my intro to convention. And I was like, hang on.
You can
okay.
And it's fine. But something about a convention, all my stage skills went out the window. It was like a bunch of kids. In my mind, I was like, why am I tripping about these kids? I was stressed. I was so stressed. And, you know, they want to deliver. They're like, give me a performance. So, you know, I'm, well, okay, I'm trying to get my little my Marty ism, my little freestyle pockets and stuff. I was freaking out. I'm such an open book. I don't mind sounding like I was a wreck. Yeah. I was a wreck. But he doesn't know that. All he saw was that I was just like composed and calm out, had a little steady end and
exactly. Yes, Luther just said I would have been like a little scared puppy.
Luther,
crazy, Lou. Just convention world is an interesting world, and especially if you get thrown in there, you just got to find it, and it's a weird place to find because it's something different. It really is, man. And shout out to Marty.
Yeah,
shout out to Marty.
And that's how you met Marty, because that's how I met Marty. I was choreographing for a movie called Mystery Men that Kel Mitchell was in, and Marty knew some of the dancers and asked me, hey, can I just be in the room? That's Marty. And I said, yeah. So he stayed in, watched while I was doing everything. He was like, I just want to da-da-da-da, boom, boom, boom. Same exact thing. And so that was my first choreography job on my own solo, like as a, you know, like a figuring it all out in the film and all of the people calling and the crew and the directors and the, you know what I mean? So, and then it was like 20 dancers. And then Kale called like all his superstar friends and kept saying, oh, show, I added 3 more people. And then he was like, oh, I got 7 more people coming. Oh, wait, my cousin is coming. Hey, show, find a place for my mom. Dead ass. He was like, hey, my and they was just coming in on set. And he was like, oh, got it, she got it. You know, and Kale is just cool. Yeah. He's everybody eats type of person.
Everybody.
I was trying to like go, everybody got to eat. But wait a minute, everybody ain't got a plate.
Oh, and tackling on more responsibility. I feel that.
More. But we got through it and it was amazing. And I love, same thing. Look, I've known Marty ever since, known Kale ever, you know what I mean? Certain things just come together. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, let's talk about Chris Brown and all these challenges, because I even did a damn challenge. I did the Go Crazy challenge with my boy Kareem.
Let's go. Come on.
And he might still be in there. You know, Kareem, he plays Preach on All American. I don't know if anybody watches All American. And so we were just like, we used to dance. We did a gig, like gigs back in the day. We'll stop there. But anyways, now that everybody's reconnecting during this crazy time, that's what's been really cool. I've been reconnecting with people that I haven't connected with that are like, we've been solid ever since, you know? So anyways, tell us about this challenge craze, because everybody was tagging me in challenges and I was like, I ain't doing no challenge. Cut to, I'm like, da da da. You know what I mean? So I'm like, did you come up with the go crazy? I know Cousin Skeeter did one. That was the one I learned.
Yep. So like, that's what it really happened. Honestly, like, I can't really take too much credit. I think Cousin Skeeter did one, and then Chris posted it, and it became like a thing. And it became like a thing in like the world aspect.
Yeah.
But then, you know what? Let me get, you know, my people that I know I can get on. And let me push it that way. So what I did was, I say, you know, me being his choreographer, I know people look at my page a lot. I just more so just say, you know what? Whatever I see that I think is dope, whether it was dance, I had hula hoop, people was flipping.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever creativity, whatever your go crazy is, I'm just gonna post. You know what I'm saying? So, and like me, I love dance. I love movement. Like, I love to still be happy with dance, you know, because the industry sometimes can take you down. It wouldn't be just the industry. It could be people. It could be a lot of variables to it. But honestly, man, I just love being happy when I dance. I like being happy when I see other people dance.
He gets really happy
like,
watching other people
literally,
dance.
like, that's my thing.
It's
like, I don't really need to be the main person. I know people love seeing me dance, and I'm grateful. But like, I love seeing people be so creative, whatever that means, you know what I'm saying? Like, see them walk into the light. So I just wanted to post people and just share light on whatever that means. Even people who think that I wouldn't post, it's like, you never know what someone likes. And the thing about it is, you know, about the whole, for me, for challenges in general, it doesn't mean your challenge is better or you're not trying to top the best one. It's just supposed to be your own creativity. It's supposed to be fun. That's the whole thing about a challenge. It's like, people do it for the fun of it. So
absolutely,
challenge, man.
It really. I had so much fun. We was in the street, like I couldn't stop smiling. I was like, "Oh, this part people."
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Real man, like a lot of people I know don't know Chris personally, but like coming from a person who know Chris loves to have fun. Let me tell you, like he's like me. He likes to see people who are talented. He loves to see people who like fun and who can dance and who really just love that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why he posts so many dancers and stuff, because like Chris always tells me like, yo, when we do shit, Josh, like we gotta have fun, bro. Like, and then like I want to keep inspiring people to dance. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole message. We always like, whenever we do things, we want to inspire people to dance. So he knows whenever he give up that title that he won't. He's like, he's not being stingy. He's like, who's gonna step up to be the next thing so we can keep going? Because, you know, for the culture, because like
culture.
To be real, like, you know, like, and I'm saying any artist is not great, but it's hard to find the Chris, the Ushers, the Neos, the Sierra, these people that you like, when you like as dancers, you say, when I grow up, I want to dance for these people. Michael Jackson, Bobby Brown, like you got so many people when you like when you hear their name, you think of dance.
Excited.
You think of dance. You say, I gotta dance. So you know what I mean. So he's always trying to portray that to say, yo, like be the best you can be. You know what I mean. So that was the challenge. You know what I'm saying.
And I dig it, and I can see why. Because for real, you know, I was hating. I'm gonna keep it real. I was hating on all that shit. I was like, these goddamn TikTok challenges. And then after that, I was like, there's something here. Hey, right? So that's what's up. Bianca's, she just threw that one too. I mean, her challenge, she just let's road. She just 305 on it. I mean, I loved all of the ones that you posted though.
That's a
whole awesome. And yeah, or stars. That's the thing. Stars, crazy. Okay, so tell us about No Guidance, because that felt like a climax moment for you. And I'm trying to tell you, I don't really be, you know, I teach. I do my boom, my choreography from the back. I teach the assistants, and then the assistants teach the thing. So I'm like 3 steps away. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you, when you hit that no guidance, my ass was in that mirror like I was like, okay, so wait, I'm gonna have to fuck with Josh because he got me like wanting to like learn something.
Damn.
I haven't wanted to learn nothing, and I can't even remember when, Josh. So like, much respect. Tell us about no guidance, and then you use my boy Johnny.
Of course. And like, you know, like he wanted to do something super chill. And Chris is a man who has pretty much done so much in his career. And he was just like, I want to attack it differently. I gotta give it to you. Like like you said, that training, before you get to where you want to be. And luckily I worked with an artist, Usher, who is such a superstar to prepare me for a person like Chris.
Absolutely.
That's just what that is, right? And
I'm sorry, somebody just said I know the whole dance.
you know what I'm saying?
Dead ass, I'm trying to tell you, dead ass. People learn that one from top to bottom.
That was a changing point for me, man. It was a changing point in my career. A lot of people took heed of that. I'm like, we up for a nomination right now for Best Video of the Year at BET. And it was such a special moment for me. And like when I did No Guidance, there was such a flow, and I try to take my time when I do choreography, but I'm not an overthinker. And she can tell you, I was taught from Jamaica and like from my mentor, whatever feels good.
Yes.
Just don't overthink something that feel good. I have to feel good. Like, the lights, the dressing, all that's like extra. Like what feels good. So I wanted to do something that just made people feel good. And when you see the record, you know what I mean? That's what you want to do. And like, to be honest, I have to give you a shout out in Rhapsody and Luther and Jamaica and Fatima and the Rich and Tones and the Akamans and the Marty and the Swoop. It's the people like you guys who I look up to in the sense of I want longevity. So when I move and I put things out, film it forever. So I always want to say that I don't want to be a choreographer for now. Like, I don't want to be this mover for now. I want to be how you get to still uphold your name through all these years. You know what I'm saying? I want how you found like these people who put a shift in dance in our culture. That's what I wanted to be. So, it's to me, like No Guidance right now, it's like my wall to wall, like my certain things. That so many people around the world connected with it, and it was so positive, it was so much light, and it was a great movement. So I'm just honored to even, it's one of the things I'm sure one of the things when you choreograph things, you don't know it's gonna be the big thing. You just knowing what it is. When you hit a record, cause you're the first person to hit a record, you're the first person before the world get to hear it. So it's a lot of pressure. So I just wanted to adapt it. I just kind of let it sink in days and days and days after, and then I started just going in and workshopping. And shout out to Johnny, because me and Johnny was the one in the room. He provided his sauce, and he just, you know what I'm saying, in the room, and that's what it was. We wanted just some cool fly dudes. You know what I mean? Not too much choreography, just like real chill, simple, but like you want to just be a part of it. So that's how No Guidance came apart, man.
You know, I'm on behalf of everybody. Lou saying enough respect. I'm saying thank you. Rhapsody saying, and I'm for everybody. Thank you for that for the culture, because at that particular time we needed that. You provided something for the culture. You provided something even with the Go Crazy, even though that wasn't a part of that wasn't your creation, but that was your curation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still providing for the culture right now, and we're needing this in this time. And that No Guidance shit was crazy, and the pop unbelievable. You know what I mean? And that was the thing. It was just like, it was simple. You know what I always say? I'm a quote master. I be loving quotes. It was simple, but it wasn't easy.
Come on.
That's what people be thinking. They be like, and sometimes when I hit a move, or you hit a move, and you like, okay, yeah, that shit's simple, but it ain't easy. That's why you look whack doing it. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure that people know that a simple move is not an easy move.
Details. Like, no
feeling, and it was awesome.
Thank you.
So you tell us about like your experience as a dancer, and because I feel like you're a star on that, like how you were saying that gave you an opportunity, the Bad Boy show, to be a star. But I feel like with Chris Brown, and maybe just because also we get to see it on social media, whether you see it live or not, we felt a part of it. And it was just these amazing, beautiful girls who can go from going so damn hard and then being able to step into that feminine moment but still be strong, you know what I mean? And you stood out to me in so many of those arenas, you know what I mean? And then your freestyle is dumb. Like, how did you find yourself as a talent in the show?
Well, I'm working on accepting compliments during quarantine, so I thank you very much for that. And I'm humbled because, like, I could get emotional about that, but I won't.
Oh, girl.
But just because, I think when you love something and you're working towards it, the work never stops. So you never quite feel like you've arrived. At least for myself, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like that particular group of women, especially the men too, because best believe the boys played a really important role, because I think I can speak for all the girls on that tour when I say we get a thrill out of having a guy as our opposite. That's the goal, is for them to pair us with a guy so that we can feel like, okay, we can hold a candle to the energy and the power just genetic strength that they have. Like, we can do this, and you spend so much time trying to dedicate your training to be able to say that you've gotten to that level. So it feels like you've never arrived. So to hear you, very, very thankful. But I would say that experience from being able to try to fluctuate from masculine to feminine, and all the in-betweens, from power to saving that energy and using your grace and your personality, in between, when you're doing like the friend montages and the I call it the dacting on stage,
Love it.
You look to your teammates. Like, when you are really struggling, whether it's, you could be having a rough day, or maybe you're just tired from fatigue, you've been going for a while, like, you look to your left and your right, and it's the teammates that you have that push you to feel like you have to show up. I have to show up because I'm looking at A, B, C, and D, all my homies up here who are giving their all every single night. And I think that's what motivated me. And in terms of freestyles, really, actually, the biggest compliment you could give me, because that's been a new journey for me, in a sense that there's the freestyle you do when you first start out. You got your couple go-to moves. You got a formula, what quick pockets to hit, a little bit of everything. And then there's like the teammates that I had who did not have a single freestyle choreographed any night they hit the stage. Not one night. So I of course, I knew that I knew what that was. I had just chosen an easier route. And so I challenged myself as of late to really try to explore the unknown and try to take my training up an extra notch for myself and for my team. Because in my mind, obviously post-quarantine, we're coming back. And I know I want to make sure I bring an even better version of myself when I come back, not even for me, but for them.
Totally.
You're only as strong as your weakest link. And stepping on the stage with the group of girls that we had, the fact that everybody could get off, that we were pulling together, we would problem solve on the back of the stage, like, okay, somebody's hurt, okay, you go here, or
just shout out to the girls, my girls' last tour, and I'm a ride for my team, man.
The band.
Lindsay, Luz, Della,
Yoey,
Tasir. I'm talking about.
And shout out to Mandy, like, from before, and Trina and L'Oreal, like, our girl squad, Delaney. Like, we've had girls come through that, to me, inspire me to just get better at all times. So that was my experience, and that's,
I love girls who can just.
Hey, Randy.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Randy. Like, I'm a fan of females who can dance, and just not because you do sexy thing. I'm like, no.
You can dance.
I think when I hopped on Chris, because like I wanted to uphold the legacy. The thing is, I have a duty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had greats, like goats, Richard Tone, Fly. I got goats. Who I gotta make sure I maintain what they maintain. So I wanted to just be like, yo, And Chris was on board with it.
And
I said,
Teresa.
and Teresa, but I was like, yo, girls, I just want girls who can get off. So if you can do both, and I tend to want both. I want, and I want you to get off. My whole thing is like, oh, you wanna? If you seen any tours I've done, a lot of them has freestyles. I'm like, oh yeah. I will put a full freestyle, nothing.
Hell yeah.
Spotlight.
You gotta hold your own. You gotta hold your own.
Because my whole thing is we are artists. And the thing like, because Jamaica, she trained me. I always say Jamaica. Jamaica's like my big homie, my mentor, my friend. And like, she trained me to be on like a lion's den. She was like, I don't care where you at, what environment we in, how we do, what you sick. When you step into whatever we need to step into, I need everyone to feel your presence. Period. She didn't want anything less. I want everybody. You shouldn't even talk. I don't even want you to keep talking. Don't even say, hey, my name is.
Talks for you.
I want you to go in there when you start dancing. It's game on. That is your talking. So for me, it was like I played football and sports, so I'm going like
him and Rio.
Well, let's get it.
Very
coachy. Real like we talk them like, let's get it. Don't talk to me, because my whole thing is too. I'm not gonna talk to you. You wanna? I'm your leader. I'll do the same steps because I'm young enough to still do these same steps right beside you. Like, and I do that anybody I hire. I'm like, I'm that type of energy, and I want you to give me that energy back because I want you to be your best self. But I've got that with my big homies, Marvin. I'm like, bro, let's go. Don't talk about it, bro. Come right beside me. Be about it. So it's like, when I go around, when I got that leadership role, I'm like, yo, this what we doing. This whole talk, I'm nice. I don't want to hear that you're nice. Like,
and luckily we didn't do that. The girls were we were quiet, so nobody expected anything out of us. And then we would dance, and it was like this explosion.
They was fine.
But I have to acknowledge that there's a legacy that's been on Chris as far as women that predates me. Like, even when you go back to the beginning, you know, the women out of Chris, there was always this tacit understanding that if you were a girl dancing on Chris, you had to get off. And that's why when I see Randy's name pop up on here and she says that about the girls, I'm like, Randy, and I know she might hear this and it's hard to absorb what this really means, but maybe it'll mean something because I'm still on this job. But that legacy is also, before even Josh could say something to us, we already have that pressure because we've seen a Randy. We've seen, you know, even like Perry Russell or Helen or certain people from back in the day who've been on that job that seriously, like, Maris, fucking all these, you know, Brandy, the like Davi, like Hoppers, like, you know, Mayuko, people women that I honestly never thought I would ever get to share a stage with. So when you get the chance to share a stage with them, even if it's for one award show, and then you're on a brand where it's about carrying the torch as a woman, like that pressure, like before we go on stage, we all as women, we had a female prayer circle. We would literally pray to just making sure we would hold up that legacy. You know what I mean? Just pray that we exude whatever that strength is, because those are the women that made us want to have this job to begin with. Because we already know it's not, you know, it's about how you feel when you hit the stage, not the extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
all of that. That's amazing. And yeah, Randy, I've seen her come from the convention to the whole thing. I mean, her and Heffa and that pocket and those women, like you said, from Chris to this, it has been an upholding legacy, and it's been an upholding legacy of choreographers too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seeing the torch being passed down, and then us being able to grow up with the culture and then watch the transition. That's what's so cool also about an artist too, who can sustain all of those transitions of the teams around them. You know? And so that's what's so dope. So I'm enjoying what you're doing for the culture. I'm enjoying both of what you guys are contributing. And then we got to get into like reality, because there's some, you know, real shit going on, and we've been presented with a movement, and you either get in or you get out. You know what I mean? And so a lot of us have decided to move in, and you guys being one of them. So I think before we go, because I can't believe we're already 10 minutes before it goes into the second.
Crazy,
bro. Like,
I will want to get into this. Give me like maybe the worst part for you about what's going on, maybe an experience that you had just being a Black man between what we're doing and then the best thing about what this movement is doing for you. So give me the worst thing and the best thing. First, Josh, and then you, Linz.
I'll be fast. I think the worst thing was just knowing, one, for the pandemic, and knowing that you have to look at self. within this pandemic because you're forced to be either alone or with whoever your significant other, and all them demons or whatever you have within yourself. You have to face self. You know what I mean? That was the worst thing. But again, that was my oxymoron. That was my best thing because a lot of people want to say, "Oh, I'm just working. I'm being creative." It's like no. Sometimes you need to self heal. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I've been doing. I never admit like I've been self healing. I've been all the things when you work so much, you kind of put in the back burner. Then you force yourself to look in the mirror and see and face these things. This is what I've been doing because I want to be a better person for me, better person for my son, better person for my family, better person for Lindsay. So, I've been just self-healing and reflecting on life. And then obviously with the civil rights are going on, as a black man, I'm from the South as well. So from North Carolina to Georgia. And that's why I say sometimes the island, because I am from a place of, so much culture and so much talent, but also so much hatred. Like the hatred is in there, you know what I mean? And it's almost sad to say that I was used to being looked at a certain way, or if I go in the store, being talked to a certain way, you know what I mean? Because that's just what it was. So I think that's what it is for me in the whole thing that's been going on. And I pray for my people. I pray for all the people out here who has my skin color. And I know it's not about race, but I am just going to be selfish and say I pray for my black people out here because I know the struggle. I know the struggle since I think my first time being racially profiled and all that stuff was around 12, 11. You know what I mean? Being called a nigga, you know what I'm saying, by a white person. Because the only thing I know it's a little controversy between people saying that word. But if I had to be point blank, period, about that word and about other things, it's just more so if you're white and someone tells you that word and says it to you, not even me, if you're white and someone says it to you, it doesn't mean anything to you. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't it doesn't make you feel any shifty. You know what I'm saying? It don't have the same power over you. But if someone told me that and they was upset and they told me that, it makes my whole day shift. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. That's why the difference is what the difference is. I know so many people say many different things. We should not use this more, but I just feel like it's just so much going on with us as black people, and I just pray for us. We're so talented. We're so great. You know what I mean? We know a lot of struggle in our life, but I pray that we continue to keep excelling because there's so many amazing examples of us that I want to be one of those people. You know what I'm saying?
You are.
And I just want to continue to fire, and I want to continue to shed dreams. I know I hold a gateway to a lot of people's dreams, and I never take that for granted. And I just want to continue to share love, share positivity, and just do what's right. That's why I'm never loud and not outspoken. I'm more so just want to give back to the community. You feel me? So
I love it. That's amazing. And you are, and it's a process. And I think I want to add to piggyback on what you're saying. I think because it's been so heightened of where we are right now, because of course we had to go into a state of emergency. But like I said, you guys, it's my third revolution. So I know that it's a process. And so all that lasts is the love of the process.
yes.
Got to keep falling in love with that process because there's no destination. The destination, even tour, you get on stage and what is an hour, a couple of claps, but the process is what you have to keep falling in love with. And I always think of This Is It because I remember when I watched This Is It and saw everybody marking. How they marking? And because they thought they were just gonna be, I guess, killing it on the show. I found out later it was some other stuff. People was injured and tired, and they had done it 150 times by the time they came in there. But then again, it sucks because that was it.
That was it.
So I always go back to that, but this is it though. This rehearsal, this is it.
This is it.
Oh no, but that was it, so you're doing it. What about you, Lindsay?
About 5 minutes.
I know I'm trying to consolidate my thoughts. Okay. To be honest, I think if I had to talk about the bad versus the good, the hardest part is confronting your own trauma and your own accountability, and that's also tied to the people you know. So it might not be necessarily if you inflicted harm or if you're doing harm. It could be what's been inflicted onto you, or maybe the things that you've sort of bared witness to throughout your lifetime. And being, I call it the in-betweener. People think they can get away with saying a lot to you that they wouldn't necessarily say to him. And I've been in a lot of environments that are both micro and macro aggressive, or have been micro and macro aggressive, that you sort of shove down to a certain place, and they just, it's like memory vomit. It just starts coming back, and you're sort of confronted with a lot of those things with people who you still operate with on a day-to-day basis now. That was the hardest part, having to think about friendships and relationships I have right now with people who've crossed the line, whether it was personal to me or somebody that looks like a Josh or my stepdad or my mom, you know, my Black side of the family, just really struggling with how and what my level of responsibility is, that I really don't owe you anything in terms of teaching. It's not my job, but the helper in me, the person that can't sit the fuck down, feels like I gotta do my part as this person that has a privilege of being in between. That is a privilege of mine, and that I do have access to more of those types of conversations with people. So how can I try to create and instill change? And so that was the hard part, including my, you know, some of my really close friends having to cut people off. But the part was that the doer in me was like, all right, well, let me just get going. Let me just get on some lives. Let me just try to share what I know to be true, and then try to organize. And so we got to throw this event, and we raised money for, you know, Black dance studios,
so good.
And
foundations. What was it called?
It was called We Won't Stop.
We Won't Stop.
We Won't Stop. I think We Won't Stop kind of sort of lends truth to what you're saying, which is that it's an ongoing journey. It's a process. It comes back in, and whether those cycles are more watered down versions of others or more heightened versions of others, nonetheless it comes back. And that was the good part, is that it allowed me to be a vessel amongst a lot of other moving parts and people who helped, because it wasn't just me, that were able to come together to try to give the dance community like some kind of safe space to be able to do that. So
that's amazing. I saw some of the footage. It looked so dope. Who was the other organizer? Was that you?
Said she was looking for parking for 30.
She told me, she said she didn't even make parking. So was that you and Natalie? Were you guys the main organizers?
We were, and I have to give credit also to Kira Harper, just because Kira wanted to organize her own something, and had already had a Zoom call, and myself and Andy J and Antoine and other people had been on it. And then it was one of those things where I think we were just so mentally defeated from the everyday stories and protests and everything, that we weren't getting a spark. And so a client of Natalie Gilmore's basically hit her up like, I have resources. And then Natalie hit me up, and I said, okay, hold that thought. I'm gonna go grab Kira. And then it just, we started talking, and
I love it. You guys, I mean, I can't get enough of you two. You've been my longest lasting interview. And I feel like we got another hour to talk about. So you got to come back for part 2. We really got to get into a full hour of where we are now, social justice, how we can take our artivists, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's kind of where we are now. We're moving into that artivist lane for some. Now, for me, it's been surprises, because some people, this movement brought them all the way in, and some people, it pushed them all the way back. And you never know who and what and how, but I'm just glad that you guys have been taking your responsibility and your accountability and, pushing us forward. I love all your posts. I think there was one post that was it Josh that was like, are you fucking kidding me? Wait, what post was it? It was something he was like, are you out of your, that's our thought. Out of your minds. That was the
fine,
yes.
Bro. I see people
out of your minds. That's like my mood all day. Are you out of your mind?
And we can definitely talk about that another time, because I'm such a activist in that way, because I don't talk much, but I like to talk with purpose. That's my whole. Whenever I post and whenever I say, I mean what I say, and I say, and I just want to like talk with purpose, because the whole thing is, I do know I have a responsibility, and I'm honored to be in a leadership role.
Absolutely. That's what's up.
I'm a black man, so I don't have to fake being a black man. Like, so this is not like a fake thing. This is a lifestyle for me. So, and I really do want my other fellow black men and women to do great. That's what it's nothing against any other race. You got great, and I want you to continue to do great, but I also want my people to do great as well. So I always try to instill that whatever way that it means, if it's through talking, if it's through dancing, I'm down. So let us know, and we're in the game.
Yes.
Love that. That's what's up. Because I feel the same way. You know, black woman, it's like we wake up. Someone was saying, our existence is resistance. You know what I mean? So we ain't got to even do too much. Like I think it was Rhapsody I was telling yesterday. We open our eyes and that's a protest. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not to be here. So we have to move into work and into action, but just know that your existence is resistance, and when you wake up your eyes, that's
absolutely. Absolutely.
Without having to do too much more, but we do have work to do, and we're doing. So I am proud in that way that we're doing it. I'm gonna open this up for questions, because you guys, we could talk all day, but I definitely want to give people out there, if you guys have any questions for Mr. Smith and Miss Duco, this is the time, because people have been asking questions, and I'm so bad at this, trying to comment, and they go fast. So, questions, I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to ask any questions, and then if not, I'm gonna have the amazing Josh and Lindsay send us off with live audiences the questions, but we gotta wait because it takes a minute. It's like a day. So,
well, while the questions are rolling up,
yes,
I'll say that I really like the word accountability, and I just before we get into the technicalities of like language and the ways in which we need to shape and shift the dialect that we use and the rhetoric that we use to describe Black culture so vaguely right now in the dance community, I really want to encourage people to hold themselves accountable. And that's only something that you can do by yourself, for yourself, behind closed doors. And I really see a lot of people who think they're doing that. And I appreciate step 1, but we got steps 2 through 10 left. And accountability, man, like none of this is going to count for anything if once it starts to die down to a place where we feel like we've navigated these waters and figured it out, that, you know, we're really feeling the exact same because we haven't confronted those demons. So what would you say to the who follow but are also yet to be trained to understand the difference between what's shared on social media and what's really real? No, you go.
That's a good question though too, because go ahead, Josh.
Honestly, man, like it's that thing when you say do research, do your own research and whatever makes you feel good. So, you know, don't just look to Instagram or whatever social media platform. Look up who these people are. Like, do you like their movement? Do you like who they are outside of person? Do you know anyone, how they worked before? These are things you want to look at before. So you don't really got to look at social media too much. You know, you want to make your own assumption about who you're making your assumption about. So just do research and just like try to focus on what you want to be, because I tell Lindsay, I tell so many people, like, dance is such, it's so broad, you know what I mean? It's so big. It's so much things to do with dance. Like, what do you want to do within dance? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a touring dancer? Do you want to be a touring and a teacher? Do you want to be a choreographer? What is the choreographer? Because a lot of people are using choreographer loosely.
Real loose.
Like it's like you just making steps, and like in Jamaica taught me that, like, what does a choreographer mean to you? And you get kind of nervous, like, like deep to know what do you want to do and what is it gonna allow me, and what does it take to be there? So, you know, just do your own research and just know. And if you don't know the research, ask.
Ask.
Like, the good thing about social media is the fact that, I mean, especially my time, and I know in you guys' time, it's like you didn't even have access to know who these people were. You know what I mean? So the fact that now you can see, like, even me, you gotta look at me and look at these people, and you can look at our lifestyles and artists and their lifestyles now, but that wasn't even a thing before. So, you know, just ask around. I'm sure it's dancers that you know or even know of who went to LA once or whatever, to be like, oh, he's cool, I did a job with him, or like, you know, just kind of ask around. You know what I mean? Because that's a main thing. You can do a job and think because it's this great job on the outside, and then you look into the deep end, and it might not be what you think it is all the time. So not all the time.
That's what's up. I mean, that's a great answer, because you're right. And ask around, like he said, ask around, ask around. There was a question. Okay, Luther is asking, when the industry opens back up, how are you going to approach your craft differently?
And there was someone too that said, how do you feel about young women, even college women students, about their sexuality?
Okay, so I'll let you get that one, and I'll get Luther. Lou, he said, he said,
how are you going to approach your craft differently post-pandemic?
Boom. So
wait, Lindsay, you answer the women and, you know, dealing with their sexuality, maybe even college, and then Josh, you answer the other one.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I hope I interpreted the question correctly. I can only say that you have to work on being okay with who you are as a woman.
Yeah.
Industry, meaning make a decision early on as to what your limits are and what feels comfortable for you. And that even goes down to, I'm going to call this gender expression, because it's not male or female, it's what gender you associate with, because I think we have to get better with our language about sexuality and versus sex, meaning male and female. And
Excellent.
yeah, like people are moving within, through, under, around a lot of these categories, and you have choreographers or jobs that are demanding women to use their bodies in ways that they may or may not feel comfortable, and you're prepared to be willing to be okay with what is not for you if somebody asks you to put your body in a space that you don't feel comfortable. You also have to learn how to, if you do make that choice, how to accept that space and be vocal about your limits. And, you know, if somebody's not okay with that, that termination or that maybe having to go a different way is going to be a part of your journey. But I don't believe in forcing yourself to do anything you don't feel comfortable, wearing something you don't feel comfortable. Obviously, it's still the industry, so we still have to do, still a compromise, you know. Same time, I've met plenty of people who have been far more down to listen to my boundaries than to give me pushback based on how I approach expressing that too. And that I'm obviously not going to go sign up for Harlow Gold if I don't feel comfortable in a pair of shorts.
100.
You know, you also have to know what job you're walking into. You know what I'm saying? But as far as sexuality and expressing yourself, I think the less definition that you confine yourself to within your body and its expression, sometimes the better. You can discover sides of yourself that you never thought you embodied, just based on how comfortable somebody allows you to feel to be able to open up and express that. Because I think everyone gets nervous in the beginning, and you feel judged. We judge women and their lack of ability to access stereotypes of sexuality. It's almost like you're not a woman if all of a sudden you don't know how to just yield your body to these societal confines of being a woman. When in fact, there are so many different types of women and sexuality in this world that, you know, it's silly for us to just look at it through that lens. So, you know, explore, find safety nets, find other women who can encourage you, to help you explore, and then get very specific about what type of woman. I'm a tomboy through and through, but I'm a tomboy that also knows how to access my alter ego, and my alter ego can be feminine. I'm an assassin. That's when I age, I have my character. She's an assassin. This is how she feels. It's how I like to walk, you know. But I also know that I'm not wearing pasties. So if that's something you're gonna ask me and that's the deal breaker, we're not doing that. So, you know, ebbs and flows and compromise, but get to know who you really are as a woman and surround yourself with like-minded bodies and space. I think that'll really help.
I mean, that's that perfect answer, because it really did tap into all of those areas, and everybody feeling comfortable and being able to find those sides of themselves, especially on stage, because you have to share that now, you know what I mean? So how do you find that within, and then from there share that? So beautiful answer. I'm right there with you, girl. We're going to end it with Luther's question. Josh, you want to take that one on?
Yeah, I saw too. So like Luther's, I saw his, and pretty much I'm gonna attack my work ethic and my craft and my choreography head on, man. Like, I mean, I've just been so ready and itching. And before, like, I'm not ashamed to admit, because I'm very more so like, not a hippie, but I'm more so just knowing that I submit to my feelings. I'm a realist. So,
Aries. I'm an Aries too.
I'm Aries. See, there it goes. So, like, I submit to my feelings. I know what it is. I'm a realist. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like choreographing. I don't feel like being creative. I'm in an emotional state right now. I don't want time right now. So it's been times I have not even moved the lick. It's been times I'm not whatever, but my mind, the good thing about me is my mind is strengthening. You know what I'm saying?
Your patience.
My patience, my intellectual, like everything is starting to come and coincide, and that's good for me because that's going to all work hand in hand to form into my dance and make it that much mature and that much ready to go, because I have more passion, I feel like, and more fire. I have more drive. I have more reason.
Yes.
Great, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not for me to be great. It's for me and my people and those to come, and legacy and those who were before me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm never like, oh, you know, I'm trying to be the best. Like, no, man, like we are all in it together. The people who inspire me to be where I'm at right now, I'm doing that same thing to someone else right now. And I wanted to continue to install so much power and there's so much love into what I do that somebody else bodies that and can do what I did and we all done when we young and make something even greater than what I am now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I do it for. And I'm like so hungry to feed that little girl, little boy, whoever they are, you know what I mean, to be so great. You know what I'm saying? Because I am young. I'm the youngest one doing it probably right now. I'm 27. And I'm just thankful, super thankful to be here. You know what I mean? I'm super honored to be here because I know the people before me who was here and still does it. It's like out this world, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I wish and pray and hope to be what these people are that I look up to. So that is how I'm approaching my success and my love, what I do outside this quarantine. And yeah, man, I saw somebody saying something like, how would it for a dancer to be without their kid? And briefly, I have a son. And I think of him, man. I really do. I think of him. I think of what he's gonna know his dad as when I grow to be old. I know I had a great father, and I want my son to always know to follow your dream. That's why my son, he might be the wildest thing to another parent, another friend, but to me, it's like my dream actually did come true. So who's to say whatever my son wants to do, he can't do it?
Right.
So for him and so for the cause that it's bigger than me. What I'm doing now is bigger than Chris, is bigger than me, it's bigger than whatever I can think of. Is more so I want to leave such a legacy that we continue to be even bigger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing when you have kids, it's like I might not get the big house and the big cars and nice whatever, but at least maybe my son and maybe his son or his daughter can. You know what I'm saying? That's how you create generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? So that's my mindset, and it's like if it doesn't happen to me, it's okay because that's what my hard work goes to. You know what I'm saying? Just how the people, our ancestors did for us when they were slaves to be free. It's me now where I'm in this position, so I want you to be even bigger so you can lay platforms for other Black kids and other people who don't have the same I guess, same chance and opportunities and access to than other people. So that's me, man.
I just have to
I'm gonna
say,
take us to church because that was like unbelievable. Luther is saying to take away more reason, more reason, more reason. Station with Luther today about more reason because I'm going through a transition, just even as an artist. The same passion is shifting into something else because there's more reason there. So that more reason is fact, 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 facts. Lindsay, please piggyback.
say about him because he, you know, when it's happening to you, you can't see it, right? And I think that's probably the most beautiful part about partnership is witnessing how your partner is growing, you know? And I feel like Josh has always been very, very mature, very, very grown, very wise beyond his years. But what's been a treat for me, and I'm sure he's witnessed my own growth in my own way, but what's been such a treat through this quarantine experience has been to watch him grow into what happened to him so fast. So you got to remember, like, he got all this opportunity very, very fast because of his talent, but he was still, you know, 23, 24, trying to catch up to what usually happens to people in their mid, you know, in a decade later, you know what I'm saying? Career wise. And, you know, trying to juggle, having to be mature and deal with a lot of personalities and a lot of people who don't have control over their own personalities and how to still, you know, deliver a product, and there's pressure and provide for your child and have a girlfriend, a serious girlfriend that young and all those things. And in the past 4 months, 3 months, 4 months, however long, watching him, literally it's like watching the spirits morph together, you know, and watching him really sort of embody what it means to be a leader, what it means to think before you speak, and that speak, it has extra emphasis, you know, even teaching me how to let go of little things when that was me telling him to let go of little things, and us now coming full circle to just watching him grow into this to me long-term leader, because that's really his goal. That's his goal. He wants this legacy, not because he just wants his name to be out there. No, he wants to contribute to the culture, and the fact that I get to bear witness to that growth just makes me very, very grateful and very, very proud of you. And I feel like people don't get to see that side of him. I get to see that side, and I honor him, not just, you know, as my partner, but as a Black man who is doing a lot of things that other Black men will never get the opportunity to do, simply because when they walk into a space, they are a threat. When they walk into a space, people cannot appreciate what they have unless they can take it for themselves. And he's managed to carve out this space with the help of other Black leaders who've been able to enable him. And now that he wants to enable more Black bodies to be able to provide that same dream and resource, it's just, I don't know, it just makes me, that's my little bit of hope that I lose on the daily from overreading the news and tapping into too much of the sort of death porn that we're seeing every day. That's the part that really allows me to feel hopeful, because I'm like watching somebody grow, even possible, another level of leadership. And that is so refreshing, especially during a pandemic. We're all unemployed for the most part. There's a civil rights movement happening, you know, on top of whatever shit you were dealing with before any of this happened as a human, you know. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm really thankful that I get to see that. And
she made me look good.
Amazing, you guys, seriously, because like I said, I didn't know that I already worked with you on ABDC, Josh, because you were quiet, you were young, and now I'm remembering who it was, and we were trying to do those positions, and remember, if it ain't dangerous, it ain't shit.
It ain't shit.
Trying to figure out some creativity.
Facts.
And I was going there after I'd been in 4 other rooms.
Facts.
So, okay, so what y'all got? And y'all like, we ain't got shit. I'm like, okay, so here we go. So it was a different type of dynamic. However, seeing you just within social media and seeing the transitions, I always felt inspired by how you guys contributed and how you guys moved. Very similar to how I enjoy watching people move. You know what I mean? Because it's a different show now. So I was so excited to be able to have you guys on live also, because I don't see you guys as being out there. Y'all ain't the out there. And
private.
Very
Anything wrong with out there. We need different people for different reasons. But
absolutely.
I appreciate that you two are both so powerful and making things happen, like a smoldering situation and creating the fire, and then you move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like moving in silence. You know,
Absolutely.
I love that. You know, that's a very, I feel very connected to that in a similar and a very similar move. I like more inspiring the people to go out that's going to do whatever it is that they're going to do. I appreciate you, Josh, for everything that you've given to the culture. Lindsay, everything that you've given to the culture, both of you guys individually and as a team. Celebrate Black love. We need to see this because this is a rarity as well. Just being
More.
that union and that support and healthy.
And healthy, man.
Healthy,
man.
healthy.
That's like I say, you guys feel really healthy, and I appreciate both of you guys. Last words to the Show Business Live audience from each of you guys.
I just want to say thank you for having us. I'm honored to do things like this. I don't do much things. I do move in silence, but whenever I do, creep out my little shell, I always want to give back and give all of me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't do a lot of things, because I don't want to always give all of me. But if I feel right, like I said, feeling, and if I feel good at what it is, I want to give all of me because I want to be sincere to who I am. So I'm just thankful for anybody who listened today and had patience with us. We're thankful. We're honored. We hope you learned or was inspired by everything. And I'm just glad to be here. Shanique, thank you for allowing me to be here. It's like an honor. Like I'm telling you, I really want to be in the place that you are, in the place that you inspire so many people. You know what I mean? For those in y'all laid platforms, I want to be in that position. So thank you for having me to share my life.
Absolutely.
All right, Lindsay, please, last words.
I feel like I'm having a hard time finding the words, because I think when you start to get to this level of your life, I won't even say career, of your life, where people are asking you to participate in conversations from people that you have looked up to your whole entire career, it's a little bit of gratitude and hope that we can't underestimate, that day-to-day hope. And I'm really, really thankful just for this moment right now, rather than thinking about the next moment. I'm really grateful for this moment, literally right now, that we were able to have this conversation and share each other's stories, and amidst a very loving audience. I see names and handles of people that I have a lot of respect for, and friendships and history with. So I'm just trying to be present, and I'm very grateful for the now, and I'm super thankful for you, and the way that you keep telling us we're inspiring other people. We're looking at you like you have inspired us so much. I had to take a second and be like, Shanique is asking us to be on a live. It's surreal, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take any of my relationships with any of the people on this live for granted. And if there's one thing the pandemic has taught me, it's just really all you have is the now, literally the now, and your health, your mental health, your physical health, your well-being. So cheers to everybody.
Everybody,
Rob,
Luda, everybody, man.
So much, and you guys, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much
for these beautiful beings right here, Black beautiful people.
Yeah.
And like I said, so usually I have my music, but you know what I mean? I ain't got time for IG.
I ain't got time.
I've been fighting all my life. I had to fight. So I didn't even put my music on because they tried me the last one, and I said, I'm not going through it. I be having my intro. I was going to have Go Crazy. I was going to do my challenge for you. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got time to fight with IG today. So we gonna take it back. Wait, how does Go Crazy go?
Wait.
Wait.
I got it.
Okay. I turn up and
Yeah.
Hey, love you, Lou. Thank you for that.
Yes, man.
Go crazy in there.
He's taking his time in the intro. He got a lot.
I love this intro.
Yes.
Culture Everybody throw some fires up in there. We got a little bit of culture right here. Let's go.
Shout out to Rob.
Yo, shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Rob.
Killed this joint at her event. Crazy.
What? Crazy.
So, love.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Yes, we love y'all. So,
Hey.
Be easy. Sonia, love you. Thank you so much.
Love you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
bye.
Show business. Yes, that show business.